Thank you.
Second.
Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
CJ Renat,
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Hey, Carrie, by the way, I'm on now.
Okay, hi. Got you.
And by the way, aye.
Okay, great. Next up, number 5. Did you just send me, we don't have Wendy, is that right?
That is correct, Mr. President.
Yeah, so we had a communication issue there. So we're going to skip to number 6, which is our strategic plan update. And I believe, Alan, are you there?
Good evening. Yes, thanks
Alan.
for having me.
Yeah, what you
Appreciate
got?
everybody here. So I have an update on the Teacher of the Year, which is part of our Pillar 4 in strategic plan. So I'm going to go ahead and put a slide deck up there to kind of guide you along on some of the updates here. So Teacher of the Year, obviously part of our strategic plan in Pillar 4, which we're all aware of. The first round nominations came through and gave us top 50 teachers to be put into round 2 impact nominations. And the survey that was involved with that was all staff were able to select one teacher of the top 50 and rate them in 3 categories. And the categories were student success, and there's some examples of the Likert scale descriptions that were in the survey. Second category is team culture and collaboration. And again, there's some descriptors. And the third category was guardian engagement. And it was really, really well received. Although it is still open, it closes on the 27th, this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. We've already received 262 nominations, which is fantastic, which is more staff than were involved in the round 1. And there are a clear set of top 10 teachers that have earned between 350 and 984 points within those 3 categories, receiving between 8 and 26 nominations. But a very clear definition in those top 10 teachers, and it's really interesting to see. Taking a look at the overall information about the survey results was really interesting too. We could see that there's a lot of strength in our student success ratings and our team category, our team collaboration and culture category, with a little bit more growth opportunity with guardian engagement. So really interesting information to look at. And the round 3 is going to be coming out soon, where we'll be looking to gather qualitative feedback from local staff that work with the top 10 teachers that have been identified, and actually give short answer responses about those 3 categories, so that we can kind of create a dossier about each one of those teachers that will then be presented to a committee for the final round. And this is going to be a blind committee, so the committee will receive anonymized responses from round 3, and then each member will independently score those 10 teachers using a rubric, and then we'll just aggregate that all together to determine the highest rated teacher, and then the committee will actually confirm who they think that the teacher should be for Teacher of the Year, so that we can announce that at Quorum in July. We're really excited about that process, and it's nice to see the increased participation in the nomination process. It's becoming more of a buzzword, so it's been very successful. And I would actually like to invite up to 2 board members if you'd like to be part of the final committee. We are working on committee selection now, and of course we wouldn't go beyond 2, so we wouldn't have a quorum. But if there's any board members that are interested, we're working on trying to put that together now. So if you are a board member and interested in being on that committee, please let Carrie know or reach out to me directly, and we'll take the first 2 board members. So any questions?
I'll
Not
let
hearing any.
I'll let Carrie know
Yeah,
now.
any board member, get back to me if you're interested in doing that. Be great.
Be really great. Thank you so much.
No board training tonight. Oh, thank you, Alan. Appreciate that, by the way. Next up, we have officers' reports. Our chief academic officer.
All right. Well, thanks for having us here. Academics are moving right along here in Q3. We've got some running rates that are new. We're sitting at bumped up to 97.1 for our show up. So attendance is sitting right there where we need it to be, consistent. Our connect rate there is 64.3, is slightly inched up from last meeting. Tends to inch up as the quarter goes. And our pass rate, running rate sitting at 37.1, which is pretty standard for this time of the year. We've got, through a few more weeks left in the term where that rate tends to roll up. So moving right along where we expect it to be. A few updates from the first semester, our CCE pass rate. Preliminary calculation at 91.9%. So remember, we have to keep up over 90% on that rate. So we're sitting good, well above that where we need it to be. So that was good to see that coming through. And our grads, which is always really exciting, of course. I think when I checked, it was 435 grads coded at that point. So we're getting those done. Those are kids that finished in either Q1 or Q2, and are all done, exited, and on the record. Of course, we have a whole lot more coming here in Q3 and 4. And our work key certificates, we're up to about 662 with the breakdown there you see. So we're working to get all those done, as of course that is one of our graduation requirements. As I said, I kind of wanted to highlight one extra piece of data each month. One interesting thing here was the completion of our STAR MOY. So this is our testing our reading and our math rates. We test the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year. The middle of the year is just kind of a running rate. We don't use this for calculations with the state, anything there. It just gives us a guide of how we're doing. So we got an 87% tested rate, which is actually really high for that rate. We don't push it quite as hard, being as it's not a summative requirement. So not 87 is a really great score there. And then we look down at the averages. Of course, our goal is to get 1 year of growth in a year or more from our students. And in the half a year, our math average did grow 0.53. So we're pushing a little above pace on our math growth. Again, from 0.689 average to 7.42. Interesting on that, our underclassmen did really well. Our 9th graders grew at 0.7 grade levels, and our 10th grew at 0.64. So we seem to be doing really well in math with our underclassmen here in this first semester, more so. Reading scores, not quite as great. We're at 0.39 GLE, so the kids are growing. We're up to an average above 9th grade, so we're sitting in a high school level now in our average, which is good to see. Want that to be at the level, but of course, as they grow more advanced, it's harder to get that growth happening. Those scores do cap out at 12.9, so once kids are at 12.9, even if they continue to learn, we aren't able to show actual growth in that. The reading scores were pretty consistent to long grade levels. I couldn't see any patterns, whether we did better at younger or older. So that's just a quick highlight on where we're getting with our academic growth, which of course is our core focus. So that's what we have for academics this time, unless you have questions.
Not hearing any. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Next up, we have our Chief Finance Officer.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board.
Hey, how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing well. I'm kind of still adjusting to not being in the office. It's kind of strange. I don't get out of this chair much.
Okay.
I miss seeing everybody. I'm definitely at risk of becoming one with the chair, and I'm ready to go back to the office.
Well, we're trying to get that office done.
Yes.
You saw it today. Go
Did
ahead.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have a lot for you this evening, and tonight we are going to cover the financials for the month of January. This will be our 7th month in our fiscal year. So tonight we just have this narrative, as well as the balance sheet and the statement of change in fund balance. So I brought this chart back again from December. This chart shows in thousands, because millions is way too big of a chart. This shows us what our budget is, where we should be with our year-to-date budget through the end of January, where we actually are with our revenue and expenditures through the end of January, and that percent utilization. We're looking really hard these last couple months of this fiscal year at where we are, where we might need to pivot and reallocate dollars to make sure that we are making the most of our budget and meeting the needs of our students. So for January, it's not as neat as December. December was a clean 50%. 7 out of 12 is, just about 42% that we have. I didn't math that right. Just forget bullet number 1, okay? So again, back to this chart, we're doing really well. In January, we did receive our PPR true up from District 49. That represents the higher PPR funding at our higher counted number of students. So we got that in January, which made our variance from our revenue budget to our actual a little tighter, and we'll see that same number moving forward. Jerry, if you could scroll down a little bit, or maybe I just need to make my screen a little bit bigger. Total expenditures year to date, just shy of 47 million. We do still have favorable variances, and again, most of those major categories are tracking very closely, and we do have some timing differences. Most of the variances are timing differences for our big capital projects, our tech purchases that will hit later in the year. Salaries and benefits are still under budget. That's okay. We did still pay our pay for performance in January to 616 eligible staff. That was about 1.23 million in January. They hit that salaries line. And we had 652 and a half staff members in our January payroll. Moving on down, professional services and purchase property services. They're again right where they need to be. We're still tracking a little under where we should have spent, but that's okay. We know a lot of expenses get kicked into gear towards the end of the year as we gear up for graduation. A lot of student activities, prom, things like that, that our supplies and our facilities costs get a little bit higher. Skipping down to the 2 categories reflecting our differences. Again, that's those property lines and that other expense line where our contingency is. So those are significantly under where they should be at this point at the end of January, 7 through our 12 months. But again, we have some timing issues there and we'll start to see some of those variances narrow as we get towards the end of the year. We still do need to allocate the contingency that the board approved us to carry through this year. It's 1.6, close to 1.7. So next month, when we talk about a supplemental budget, we will also talk about reallocating some of those contingency funds. So all in all, January was a pretty straightforward month. We had a lot of expenses. that we had planned on. We talked about those in December. We talked about the pay for performance that we were paying in January. But we also got that true up from District 49. The net change in fund balance for January was about $17,000, bringing our total for the year little over 3.7 million as a positive net change in fund balance year to date through the end of January. Jerry, if you could scroll to the balance sheet, please. Nothing really out of the ordinary here on the balance sheet. All of our cash and asset accounts are right where they should be. That prepaid expense line is a little higher. As you recall from previous months, we talked about having the prepaid license costs of about 1.4 sitting in prepaid expenses, but we have added some additional funds to that prepaid expense. We have some prepayments for our forum that's coming up in July, in addition to some graduation venues that we have put deposits on already. Our accounts receivable lines are a little higher than they typically are. We do expect those to be to receive payment on some of those grants, those funds from District 49, and we'll see that go back down. We did have to accrue some expenses back into January. Some of those are the building construction costs, in addition to all of our card charges for January. That's pretty normal. Nothing else really on the balance sheet unless anyone has any questions. All right. I don't really have a whole lot to cover on the statement of change in fund balance. We can cruise through that if you would like. So this just shows again how our PPR was a little higher than it typically is in January, again because of that true up with District 49, bringing our total revenue for January to 8.7 million.
Unknown participant is now exiting.
See, finance isn't fun. People just don't want to hear. If you could scroll down for me, Jerry, we can talk through some expenditures a little bit. Total salaries, again, a little bit higher. That was that pay for performance. Same thing with the correlated employee benefit costs with the pay for performance, specifically para, Medicare, things like that. But still under budget where we should be in January. On the second page, nothing again really out of ordinary. Total professional services just shy of 300,000. Purchase property services driven largely by our building rental costs there is 383. Other purchase services a little bit farther. Thank you. We are seeing some of those concurrent enrollment bills trend. We're getting some of those. We do have one more big outstanding bill for fall that should about cover all of our kids attending our concurrent enrollment classes for fall. So we'll see those bills continue higher. Advertising is picking up a little bit. That will be in that communications line, bringing the total for other purchase services to about 695,000. And finally, last but not least, we have the supply lines where everything was in order for a normal month of January. And then in the 700s for our property, we did have some building improvement construction costs. Again, with these leasehold improvements that we talked about in December, a lot of security upgrades and things like that going on at our sites, and trying to get some tech purchases in ahead of some of the chip shortages that are coming, and all of the fun conversations with tariffs or not tariffs, trying to get some computers landed here for staff and students is what is represented in that technology purchases line, bringing our total property expenses to just shy of 1.4 million. And again, our bottom line for January was an increase of 17,000, bringing our fund change for this 25-26 school year at 3.7. Any questions for me? That's all I have for you this evening.
Not hearing any. Thank
Excellent.
you. Next up, our Chief Information Building Janitor update.
Building guy.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's never had such a great title in my life, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone.
It's long. I've got to shorten
It's
it up
long.
a little
It's
bit.
I wouldn't say distinguished, but it is certainly long. So
Oh, it's not
perfect.
that. It's not distinguished.
No, it's not. Well, good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Quick building update. I won't take too long on this. I just wanted to give you all just kind of a quick look of where things are at with the Administration Center. Mr. President, you were able to tour today, so anything you want to add as I go through this, please feel free to do so.
I will.
But we did excellent. We did get a good look today at kind of our progress. We are still tracking toward an occupancy date of March 26th. We do think there's going to be some ebbs and flows with that, so the board is aware. We do plan, and I did not share this at the last meeting, but I did want to share that we do kind of plan to bring staff back kind of in waves within the occupancy of the building. So we may bring certain teams back to the buildings that need to be there a little bit early. For example, some of the tech staff will be there earlier. Our finance department may come in a little bit earlier as they need to kind of process some of the work that's going on there. We do need to get print services established, so on and so forth. So as we are tracking toward March 23 as the date for people to return, we may not have all staff returning exactly that day. We may be kind of staggering people in and out based on how quickly we can get certain services up and running in the complex. So for Building 1 itself, the furniture move is underway now. Most of the furniture from the Victoria office has now been relocated to Building 1 into people's offices. There are still some things that are left at Victoria because we needed to keep some services online, some tables, some chairs, printing services, things that do need to still be online at Victoria. We did leave those connected there. The new stations, some of the new furniture that we have ordered as well for Building 1 has begun arriving and has begun installations in some of the offices. We are still waiting for delivery of a lot of the furniture for the new training room, the convention space, so on. That furniture, we're still waiting on that. Flooring and cabinets continue to be underway. Most of all offices are now carpeted. So if you want to see what they kind of look like now in a, I would say, kind of a habitable form, now is a good time if you want to see kind of how that looks. We are still waiting on some of the vinyl flooring, the luxury vinyl plank flooring in the main hallways, as that'll be one of the last things to go down as construction crews are still kind of tramping in and out of there and doing what they need to do. So it's not appropriate to install that flooring just yet. Cabinetry and millwork is underway. Most of the doors are hung as well now, are latched. Just got word from our facilities maintenance manager that the key systems have also arrived. So those are going to be beginning to be installed as well now. And finally, we are now commencing with audiovisual and network system installs within Building 1. So there is a lot going on in a very short amount of time with one now as we kind of begin to move more toward that occupancy piece within the building. So we're pretty excited about that. On Building 2, framing of the new offices within the building is complete. And drywall, we were expecting drywall to begin this week. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but we were told that drywall should be beginning at some point this week to put new sheetrock up on those walls. The internal systems of Building 2, your HVAC, your electrical, the kind of the human systems that are going into a building, those are still in progress with 2. We are still tracking toward a mid-April to early May occupancy of Building 2. So still some more time on that one. And as that building continues to come together, I'll have more updates on that. So I would defer as well to Jill or Bree or Jason if there's anything else that you all would like to comment on with that. But I just wanted to give the board a quick update. So I will give the floor back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Yeah, the only thing I have, and I send Jill a note on this too, it's, man, you got those really nice desks and stuff, and you know, when they start hanging ceiling tiles, or if they they use them as sawhorses and ladders. So just remind the contractor about that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next up, we have our Chief Executive Officer, Jill. What's up, Jill?
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. And thank you all for your flexibility in doing this meeting completely virtual today. We definitely appreciate it. And our goal is to be in the new building for our March meeting, to be able to be back in some shared space in some form for a good portion of the board. I do have a couple updates today, just starting with our reminders, which I am leaving on for the rest of this school year. And that, of course, is our graduation schedule. So we do have 12 graduation ceremonies. I believe that Carrie did send the list out in the January meeting. So just a friendly reminder to board members to take a peek at that list, and please let myself or Carrie know if you are planning on and can come to any of those ceremonies and which ones you would like to attend. Also, if you are in need of graduation regalia, please let Carrie know that also, so we can ensure to get that regalia ordered for you for those ceremonies. Also, a reminder on Goal Forum. We are hoping that board members will be able to join us, even if it's just for maybe one or two of the events during the 2 days. We do have a nice mixer night on the night of July 28th, and we also have, our opening and closing ceremonies. So we would love if Goal Board members could join us the whole time, or even just a little bit of it. We know you all are very busy outside of the volunteer work that you do on the board. But that will be, of course, at the Omni Hotel in the Broomfield area on the 28th and 29th. Also, a few little other updates. The C team and myself have been quite busy just getting out there and doing some meet and greets with legislators. We did spend the full day of January 29th at the state capitol, meeting with different state representatives and senators, really just taking some time to talk about the work that Goal does, why we do the work we do, the students that we serve, and how we just have that greater impact on the whole state, serving 7,000 students across the state of Colorado. So we took some time. We did have 8 meetings set up. We were able in that day to get 5 of them completed. And the last 3 we are working on trying to get them rescheduled to do in this format, of course, online. As you know, they are very busy, and we really appreciated their time and them taking a few minutes to meet with us and spend some time to learn a little bit more about Goal, so that when they do hear our name in those different meetings in the education realm or in the joint budget committee realm, they do know the great work that Goal is doing to serve students. I also wanted to let the board know that I will be meeting with Peter next week to have some great conversations about the economic data survey that we worked on together, joint with District 49, to really dive deep into the impact that Goal does have on the state of Colorado. So I am scheduled to meet with him next week on Tuesday so that we can review all of that data and really come up with a great common message of that partnership and how we want that messaging to go out to the Colorado Springs region, of course, for the benefit of District 49, but also the greater state of Colorado, to really help those in the state understand the amazing work Goal is doing and what a large impact a school our size that serves at-risk youth, many of which have dropped out or disconnected from traditional schooling, how they re-engage and do reach that ending point of their graduation diploma. So that report will be coming soon your way. So keep an eye on your inbox, because after I do meet with Peter, since that was a joint effort, I will release that report to the board. And of course, then we will start releasing after that to the greater communities in Colorado to start spreading that word across the state. And then last but not least, we were lucky enough to be able to connect with the Commissioner of Education, and we do have a meeting scheduled with Ms. Cordova on April 3rd, and she is going to visit our Thornton site in Denver, get a kind of see Goal in action, and give us about 2 hours of her time on that day to see the site and sit down and have hopefully some really good conversation about the work that Goal is doing, so she can also understand a little bit more about our model and what we do and how we do it to re-engage a lot of disconnected youth across the state. So those are just a few updates from myself and some of the amazing work that we have been able to do over roughly the last month. And I look forward to giving you more updates in March with that report. And then, of course, in April, after we do have that sit-down meeting with the commissioner. And I welcome any questions, Mr. President, that you may have.
I don't have any.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Appreciate you.
Are there any board member reports? Not hearing. Next up is item 10, which is our consent agenda. I need a motion to approve consent agenda as presented and or amended, and that included the big one was the calendar, our January financials, and the board member minutes from January 27th. Motion,
I'll make a
please.
motion.
Thank
I'll make
you.
a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
CJ Renaud,
Aye.
Mark Mariak,
Mark, you're on mute.
Thank you. Sorry. Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Great. Action items. We need to have the approval of resolution 2026-02-24A. That's our meeting notification. That's for the year, right?
Yes, Mr. President, and this is also to ensure that we are changing our meeting notification as we will be moving to our new buildings for our March meeting. So it's changing it's officially making sure that we have the resolution to change the posting to 27 Montbello Road in Pueblo, Colorado, 81001.
Yes. Okay. Just let me catch up here real quick. Sorry. We needed a motion to approve that, please, as stated.
So moved.
A motion. I'll second.
Great. Thank you. Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
CJ Renaud,
Aye.
Mark Mariak,
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Great. Hold on just a second here. Jumping between screens. We got some informational updates. There's two of them. Revisions to board policy C3 and revisions to board policy G1. Who's taking those?
Mr. Ron Behill. Yes.
Oh, Ron Vehicle is up. Great, Ron. What do you got?
Hey, Mr. President, members of the board. This evening, I'm presenting two established board policies for first reading only. Both items reflect proposed edits for your review and discussion. No action or approval is requested tonight. Both policies will return next month for second reading and consideration for your approval. The first item is Board Policy C3, which is a notice to parents of alleged criminal conduct by school employees. This policy addresses parent notification requirements when a goal employee is charged with a notifiable criminal offense. The proposed edit modernizes the method of communication by allowing the school to use the most effective means available, rather than requiring notification by mail to the last known address. This change improves timeliness and aligns with current communication practices while maintaining all legal requirements. The second item is Board Policy G1, Goals Anti-Nepotism Policy. This policy ensures employment decisions are based on merit and free from conflicts of interest or the appearance of impropriety. The suggested changes make the language clearer, which helps ensure consistency, accuracy in administration, and easier enforcement. The revisions also separate rules about being eligible for employment from limitations on supervising, making decisions, or accessing confidential information when family or close personal relationships are involved. These changes strengthen the governance, transparency, and accountability, and align the policy with our broader ethics and conflict of interest framework. Our legal team has reviewed both policies, and I'm happy to answer any questions or take any feedback on either policy.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was just reading through it, these changes. Okay, so we'll have another reading of this and vote on it next month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this?
No.
Not hearing any. Obviously, it's been reviewed with Amber thoroughly.
That's correct.
Okay. Next up, we have, I believe, let's see, officers' reports. Sorry, I'm doing this all online. Public comment. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
We do not.
Okay. Next up, we have announcements. Our next board meeting, March 24th, will be someplace. And you're telling us we're going to be able to have that boardroom by then? We're going to have that meeting over on the new building?
So we're definitely going to have it on Microsoft Teams virtual meeting like this meeting.
Right.
And we do have goals and aspirations of having the building ready.
Okay.
So I can't 100% commit, but we really are trying.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, they'll obviously let us know and we'll do whatever we need to do. We don't have anything for executive session, is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. President.
Okay, Jill, how many months is that in a row now? I want somebody to keep track of this.
2 in a row. I believe
Right.
we did have one in December, but we did not in January and February. But we may need one in March.
All right. That's
But so far, 2 months.
God, yeah, please don't have an executive session until we can meet. Because I know we'll never get us all online twice and back and forth.
The struggle will be real.
At least I'm speaking for myself. Okay, that's it.
Hey, Ted, 2 things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you give me a call, Ted, in about 20 minutes? And Jamie, can you give me a call in about 30 minutes? Thank you.
I'm sorry, you want me to call you in right after the meeting?
Yeah, actually, you can call me right after we hang up.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
With that, anything else? With that being said, I, as president, will adjourn this meeting. Meeting adjourned.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Unknown participant.